I'm now going to go to two graphics that I developed. One was based on an idea Gail and I were talking about how the same things seem to happen clinically that don't result in success. Okay, here we go. Now, to do this, I would like to have a reader. What's your first name? Stephanie. Stephanie, I'm going to ask you to read the first pop-up. And Beth, I'd like you to read the second pop-up. Okay, here we go.
The student indicates a wide range of emotions and preferences in response to teachers and family through gestures and facial expressions, but rarely communicates beyond this circle.
Okay, Beth and I were talking about the teacher has an idea that a child could use an AAC device, and Beth is questioning it, but do we question that this child needs an AAC device here? I mean, this is kind of the classic situation where you say she needs a device. Okay, Beth.
The student's good pragmatic leads the staff to believe she could use a speech-generating device to communicate more independently and with a broader range of people.
Aren't they typical goals? Communicate more independently, and to a broader, not just to family, friends, therapist, teacher. Okay. Stephanie?
Initial trial on a multi-page system encourages expectations for independent communication.
We tested her on it. She seemed to do okay. Beth?
After a short time, the vocabulary becomes too limited.
She started out with that, 4 or 5 pages. Now, I mean, a couple months later, that isn't working in any way. Okay, next.
More vocabulary pages are added with great care.
How many of us have been engaged in this process?
Oh, yeah.
Right. This is kind of the universal experience. Okay. Next. It's on your page.
I know, it's
it's
too small
little.
for
Okay.
my eyes. Searching for words across multiple pages is hard and confusing to the student. Her staff decides to do more whole utterance programming.
If she can't build these sentences, then it's asking too much. We know pretty well what she's going to need to say on the school bus, don't we? Okay. So let's give her some more sentences. Okay?
The student is unable to navigate independently to and back from environment and activity pages to find needed vocabulary.
Boy, that starts happening pretty early. That's on your breakfast page. Okay, next.
To avoid navigation, more specialized pages are added, defeating the development of motor planning.
Okay. Yeah, motor planning, if it ever was considered, is certainly disappeared by now.
New pages, designed and implemented daily or weekly, require the continuous participation of therapists, parents, teachers, and aides.
We've been there, we've seen this going on. Sometimes it's not as good as this. Sometimes the speech therapist is just putting in the teacher's new words 10 minutes before class, and the student is just coming in there with this new page for social studies, you know, where you're talking about Native American. And there's TP and papoose, you know. Okay, next.
Engineered participation in activities replaces conversational use of the device.
Okay, we're going to do a cooking lesson. She's going to have mixed pour stir, butter, flour, milk. Now what are we going to put in here? And you know, I'm going to do this. What's this? And then it's mix. And I'm going to pour, stir. Okay, we know what's going on here. And this has become a very important part of this student's curriculum. This is how she participates in environment after environment, and a pretty good deal of energy is put into it. Okay?
The speech-generating device is less and less viewed as a tool for broad-range, independent communication.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that was only a year and a half ago, but we're not thinking about that anymore. Okay, last.
Use of the communication aid is deemed successful, though it is used only to retrieve pre-stored responses in engineered situations.
Okay, there we go. Are we actually back to the first thing?
Yep.
Student indicates a wide range of emotions and preference and responses to teachers and family, but rarely communicates beyond this circle. By the way, about $15,000 has been spent on equipment and aid time, maybe as much as $18,000 to $20,000, and the parents have been typing away, and you know, it's been a big effort. 18 months later, why is it deemed a success? Well, you did what only could be done. Beth was too disabled to go much further, so then the child's disability is blamed. And we congratulate ourselves and move on to the next. Gail was an integral part. She started talking about self-fulfilling prophecies, such as, this student doesn't have any language. We're going to put in pre-stored sentences. Well, at the end of 2 years, guess what the student still doesn't have any of?
Language.
Yes, I mean, yeah, there it is. There's no language. The student has not been introduced to the very rudimentary building subject-verb-object sentences. Okay. Now, this is, I'm going to read this, I wrote it. This, I'd be a poor country preacher if after getting you damned, I didn't try to get you saved. Okay. Student has, this is, you know, I'm a single-page system. Student has good pragmatics, leading the staff to believe she could use a speech-generating device. Initial trial on a single-page system is successful. Staff is challenged by the complex appearance of the system. That is always something that has to be dealt with. Staff teaches pronouns and basic verbs. Student begins to use the core vocabulary. Staff adds specialized vocabulary. You can't stop them. Student continues to use core vocabulary as MLU grows. Growth slows as student is satisfied with basic communication. I've heard that so many times. Staff broadens student's environment. Staff continues to challenge student with a broadened core vocabulary, and language skills now assist in literacy. Ta-da, the pearly gates. Okay.